to this place called Yarvanpah, and we patched things up. She forgives me about the job, and so she says, I got an idea, let's go to Russia. And I said, yeah, that's, you know, check my schedule book, nothing in there. By now I'm dressed head to toe in black leather, righteous leather pants, really nice leather jacket, Finnish army boots that come up to like your knee. I'm already intimidating enough, but that didn't help it out, so I think that's why they jacked me. As soon as we went to Russia, you know, saw the sights, and came back, and as we were getting off the ship, I had a vicious hangover. We had all this food we got, and this vodka, and they pull us aside and they said, these people have to be drug smugglers, just the way I look. So they said, are you smuggling hash? Are you smuggling heroin? I said, no, sir. So they started cutting up the salami and the cheese, looking for dope inside of it. And the guy tells me, okay, well, we're gonna get you on something. And we're both handcuffed to a little waiting table with a metal bar. And we have all of our food in front of us. I said, fuck it, I'm going to jail. So we might as well go loaded. So we cracked that bottle and I started drinking vodka when they got their backs turned. All my warrants came up. I was there almost a year, 11 months, and I got 9 or 10 warrants in different counties for, you know, various charges. Barroom brawling, drunk in public, drunk driving, stealing. Then they said, well, how long have you actually been in the country? And I said, you know, it's this amount of months. And they said, well, we got you. You're here illegally. They sent me to prison, which is, it's like what they call a gulag, or it was an old castle, basically. The walls are this thick. And I was able to take all my store with me, all that salami, the cheese, and everything. And they feed you slop. It's like shit. It's like a big stew, like a goulash. It's the same thing 3 times a day. So they just come by with a big giant pan on a wheel, and you put your bowl out, and you get your shit, right? So everybody's starving for good food, real food. So here I am with all that cheese and salami and cookies and all this stuff, and everybody else has hash. So I start selling salami for hash, right? And I'm coming up, you know, I'm doing pretty good. I got a little hash business going. I told her, honey, I don't think I'm getting out of this one. You know, they're gonna keep me here for a while. And so I says, well, gotta call the American embassies. It's amazing to find out how much rights you have as an American citizen when you're in a foreign country. Because I had been to the American consulate before. I sold my passport for 700 marks. I didn't sell it, I just told this guy, here, you hold my passport, you know I can't leave the country, you let me have 700 marks, and I'll pay you the money back, which was a lie. I just wanted the money. So I took the money, we went and got a couple hotels, traveled, drank, like fish and all that. I just went to the American consulate and said, hey, I lost my passport. Boom, they gave me another one. So they came down there with the Los Angeles Times, and the first thing they said is, who do you want to sue? What happened? I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, I don't want to sue anybody. I just want to get the fuck out of here. I want to go back to the States. And they said, okay, let's find out what you have, what's your assets, and you know, this, that. I made it lies up. I told them I own horses and land in New Mexico. Straight lies. So they said, all right, just sign on the dotted line. We'll pay for your airplane ticket, which costs $800, or we'll give you $200 spending money. So a day later, they came to my cell and released me, and I had my old lady meet me at the airport. We had discussed it, and we said, well, honey, this is the way it's going. I got to get out of the country, and I'll wait for you, and I'll send you money. And her father was pissed because we spent $22,000 on her Visa card. And he told her, gotta get away from him, we want you to get a divorce. You have to pay that bill before you leave. This guy's bad news. We're gonna write you out of the will. So there she is at the airport. They took me there with 3 cops in handcuffs. They actually walked me on the plane and told the stewardess, this man is not allowed to drink alcohol. So I gave her a kiss goodbye, and that was the last time I've ever seen her. And It's kind of hard to talk about it. So I figured, I do construction, roofing, and I'll go make some money, start sending it to her. We're still married. She's gonna choose me over the will and her family, so I was just working really hard. And being the drug addict that I am, cocaine is really cheap down in Florida. So I was working every day, and I was living in hotels. And then I started using cocaine, and I stopped sending so much money. I would send her like half of my check and spend the rest on cocaine. And then I started spending all of the check on cocaine. So I took a Greyhound from Florida to California. I started sending every dime that I made. I mean, I barely kept enough for the cigarettes. I stopped drinking, so I didn't want to lose her. So I kept writing her all these letters and stuff, sending her all this money and sending her Christmas presents. And by now, it's already a year has gone by, and she's still not with me. She would stick by me as long as I was next to her. But when we were separated, she just said, "This guy's a fucking loser." And she was just writing those love letters to try and get some of the money back that she had spent. So what happened was, I had connections over there still, and I had people keeping an eye on her. And they're telling me she's spending all that money you send on beer. She's using it again. She's buying beers for everybody. She's using speed. She's not paying off that bill. So I didn't want to believe it, because at the same time I was getting these love letters that said, "We'll fall in each other's arms. I can't wait to see you. I fucking watch the sunset. We'll live happily ever after." So I stopped sending the money, and she wrote back. She said, "All right, I'll get on a plane, but I don't have any money." So I borrowed $840 from my father, and he paid for the ticket, a non-refundable ticket. I had it waiting for her at the airport. I was sitting because I have friends out here with limousine services, and so I'm sitting at the airport with a limousine, roses, a bottle of champagne, waiting for her to get off this fucking plane, and just didn't get on it, right? So I just gave the roses away to some pretty lady, and I just told the dude, "Fuck it, take me to the beach." So we went and got more liquor, and it finally set in, I'm what a fucking dummy I am. So I lost her, and about a week later, she sent another letter that said, "Yeah, sorry I couldn't make it, this, that, the other. But by the way, when you sign this piece of paper, this is for our divorce." So I said, "You got it." Gave her my John Hancock, and that was the end of that. I never wrote her again. I never called her again. I never heard from her again. I kicked myself in the ass for about 4 years after that one. I just could not, would not forgive myself. That was the biggest mistake I've ever made in life. I mean, because I've done some stupid shit before, but it was like a little kid in a candy store. I just was running amok. She was hopelessly mad in love with me. That woman would have died for me if I asked her to. And I would have done the same for her. If I actually had the money, I'd hop on a plane and I'd go back and I'd get on my knees. I'd say, "God, forgive me. I'm so fucking sorry. I thought about walking into a bank one day and robbing it just to get the money to get there." I cried for years in my sleep. I had nightmares over it. I actually went back to church. I went to confession. I tried to get rid of that pain in my heart. Nothing works. If I took a pad and a paper and wrote down everything I wanted in a woman, she was that and more. So beautiful, just strikingly beautiful. I didn't even know women could be that pretty. And she didn't wear any makeup. That was the thing. She really didn't wear that much makeup. And she could wake up and look like that. I'd stop drinking. I'd do whatever it took. Man, I would stand on my head in a corner for years. I would pretty much do anything besides sell my soul to win her love back. And I know she feels strongly about me in her own way, because in between all the pain and the hurting, man, we had a blast. It was like a best friend and a lover all rolled up into one. We giggle in bed and just laugh and have great making love. Everything was just right there. It was right on time. It's pretty much of a cop-out to say that shit happens. I created that shit. I was the shit. So, like I said, I take full responsibility for it. I lost her through my selfishness. I guess that's what you would call it. Yeah. There was just a lot of pain on my side. I'm sure she got hurt, you know. I know I hurt her. But God only knows how much I want to try and be forgiven for all that. But yeah, I still love her. Just as much as I ever did, if not more. I had never been so happy, just content, I guess as you would call it. Never been so content in my life. It's a really big scar in my heart. I've never felt so strongly about a person. You know, there's an old saying that they say that everybody has a soulmate out there. That was my soulmate.